Hey, say hello if you're here. I see people jumping on. What I wanted to share with you guys today, I was on with a private coaching client this morning, and she was talking about her work, and she was talking about the person that is her partner in her job, and she said, um, I don't know if my partner is on the spectrum. I'm not sure, but there my partner at work is very logical and just I see a lot of these similarities and a lot of these same traits. And I'm kind of more the emotional person, and she's like, my partner sometimes is not great with the interpersonal skills and the interpersonal aspect of things. And then I understand, I'm kind of the translator when we interact with the other folks, and yet we just work to get, we have this really great partnership. It works so well. And my partner checks in with me about how to interpret the folks we're working with, and then I really uh, check in with her. It's a female that she works with about the kind of the linear, the logic. She's very, very logical. And she said, but she cares so deeply for these people that we work with. And so I just, we talked about how this is actually it's very representative of how a spectrum relationship can be an amazing and beautiful and fulfilling partnership. Because when you have a neurotypical partner with an Asperger's partner, it can work so well when you have that logic brain, the linear logic, and you've got the emotional partner. And basically, we're not in what the mistake that a lot of folks make is to try, they want their partner to be more like themselves. And that's not how a partnership really is the strongest. We're the strongest when we complement each other, not compliment as in you look nice today, but compliment as in we we basically, my part works well with your part. It's like we fit together like pieces of a puzzle, or yin yang, and so I make you stronger, you make me stronger. And so we don't need to try to make our partner more like us or be more like them. We need to recognize our strength. So this is how neurodiverse or spectrum relationships can really be amazing. The hard part for most of you, though, is that there are also all these other layers in a relationship that we don't necessarily have in a work relationship. There are all these other layers and that we bring to our relationships. We bring our expectations of a relationship. We bring our past, our personal history. Sometimes we bring trauma. And then over the course of time, we have the relationship history that we have to kind of unravel and rewrite those scripts once we sort of figure out, oh, this is what's been going on in our relationship. So we have all these different layers that we have to sort through, figure out. But once you do that, I get emails. I put this in the title. I get emails from people and private messages sometimes. And I'm asked quite a bit, is it even possible? Is it possible for a spectrum relationship to work? And my answer to that is yes. And I ask people, I say, do you honestly think I would be doing this for a living? This is my career. 100% of my career is this. This is all I do. I work with people who are in spectrum relationships 100% of the time. Would I do this full time as my career if I didn't know and believe that it absolutely can work? Now, that doesn't mean that it's going to work for everybody because of all of these layers. Some people, all of these layers matter too. So if you have, for example, if one of these layers is a toxic personality type, if someone is a narcissist or have a borderline personality type, which is another type of personality disorder, that's going to be a showstopper or a deal breaker. We also, I'm always telling you guys in the group, we all have to know what our personal deal breakers are in a relationship. So for me personally, um, there are certain things that are deal breakers for me in a relationship, and every single one of us has to know what those are. And those are completely separate from autism and neurotypicalism. That's not a word. So those things are also part of whether or not a relationship is going to work. But the Asperger's neurotypical part is not a deal breaker for a relationship. As a matter of fact, it can be a strength. I tell folks in my coaching groups, and I'll tell you here, that a lot of times in a spectrum relationship, sometimes the I see what I see playing out. If you think of a navigation, like a road map, or now we don't use maps, um, but a lot of times the neurotypical partner is more like the compass, the emotional compass to help guide the relationship. You know, that intuitive guide that points us in the right direction. Whereas the autistic partner is then the person who gets the relationship from point A to point B, the logic, the actual details to navigate the logic of the relationship. And so it works beautifully. I actually used that analogy last week with one of my autistic guys, and he loved it. And so it's a partnership. And so it absolutely can be so strong. So if you're wondering, is it even possible? Can this work? It can, but it depends on various factors. Is there motivation for it to work from each of you? Are each of you willing to look internally and recognize what you each are bringing to it? Because a lot of relationships are stuck in finger pointing and blaming, and that's because you're in a crisis mode, which means the relationship itself is in a fight or flight mode, and so you're not on the same team. You're in an antagonistic place. So we have to get your relationship first out of that high conflict state of being before you can even begin to try to start connecting. But once we get you out of that high conflict place, if that's possible for your relationship, then we can absolutely get you to a place where you start to become partners, and then you start to connect, and it can just be a beautiful, beautiful thing. So, gosh, I don't see any comments. You guys are just listening. So if you come and you listen to this replay, drop the comments here and let's talk about it. But I wanted to just share this with you because it came up today, and wanted to drop these thoughts in here for you guys. And so anyway, drop some comments in here. Let me know what your thoughts are. I want to hear from you guys. Alrighty, I hope you're having a good Tuesday. I will see you tomorrow at 5 o'clock for my Ask Me Anything live for this week. And I will post that also probably later today to let you guys know, and then another reminder tomorrow that I'm changing the date on that. Janice, I see a comment here that finding out that your husband has autism was enough to get us out of conflict mode. Yeah, sometimes that just learning that autism is there is enough of a framework in the beginning for that light bulb to go off and go, oh, this is big. This is really, really useful. And that's why being able to acknowledge that autism is present is so helpful for a lot of folks. It doesn't mean that autism is the problem in the relationship, because there are still all these other layers. But it's definitely a framework to understand a lot of how the miscommunication has been happening, and to understand what's been going on for so long. Nathan says, awesome. Hi, Nathan. All right, you guys, I got to run. I've got another private coaching session here in just a few minutes, but just wanted to share. So let me know your thoughts. I'll see you guys tomorrow, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Bye. Oh, Nathan, I just saw your comment. Of course, I do care. I'll talk to you guys soon.